Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about distractions now, and these are slightly different to the mood lifting activities, aren't they? This is very much themed around keeping ourselves safe minute by minute when those thoughts become overwhelming. So do you want to tell me a little bit more about these?
Yeah, I mean, I think this section is almost one of the key areas, isn't it? Because it's almost the point where maybe when we feel we can't keep ourselves safe from those thoughts of suicide, that urge to want to act on those thoughts becomes overwhelming, really. And it might be when maybe, we haven't been able to lift our mood, or we haven't been able to reach out. So actually, how can we keep ourselves safe? And I think the most important things to say at this point is these feelings will pass. But we might need a reminder of how we can get through, sort of, again, as you said, minute by minute, because it's ensuring that we're not going to act on those urges. How can we, sort of make small steps, but that real crucial, sort of over that crucial period of time, literally minute by minute. So I think most important things to stress really here is, the urge will pass. It's thought that the actual strongest urge of, almost my only option is to end my own life, almost that tunnel vision that you can feel. It's thought only to be between 15 to 30 minutes. So how can we literally get ourselves through that window? And that's crucial, and concept that we talk about quite a lot is that concept of safety for now. It's not stopping ourselves from having thoughts of suicide, but it's stopping ourselves from acting on them. And you can see, how a safety plan is vital for that, can't you, really? And I guess some of these activities, they might be the same as those mood lifters. You suggested that at the time, but I suppose they're probably more prescriptive at this point. Literally, sort of that sort of step by step, and it will vary. Certain strategies work for certain people. Mindfulness, concentrating on breathing. There's various sort of different techniques. You've got the sort of tip technique, or the sort of some of the ones that people might have learned, say maybe through the Decider skills. And there's some really useful apps as well. But I'd say the most crucial thing is know them, have them on your safety plan, and make sure you've got easy access to them when you really, really need them.
The distraction activities that I find work is to go for a walk. For my distractions, I think playing a video game is one of my biggest distractions. Actually getting something going that I can immerse myself into. And kind of lose that bit of reality that is really difficult at the time, by immersing myself in something that's not real. Yeah. I also find that if I can do something with my hands, so something like craft-wise, that I have to concentrate on, but also keep my hands occupied, so that I'm not like, I've got something that I'm tangibly doing.
Yeah, so listening to music really helps me drown out the thoughts. And if that isn't enough, I'll do something as well as listening to music. So I'll clean, I'll play with my cat, I'll change my bedding, I'll literally do all of my favourite things at the same time, because sometimes that actually works, because it's just all the distractions.
Yes, it was in various forms. It consisted of a physical safe space that I created on my bed, and it involved, I didn't have a tent at the time, but if I had, I might have used it, I think, and it didn't even have to be on the bed, but that just so happened to be the place for me. And I had things strewn around on it, that things like books I'd really loved reading, and pictures I really liked, messages from other people, things like that, my journal, different things on it that made me feel safe. I created a set of cards and I regularly used them. When I was feeling really suicidal and low, I would go to these cards and take my time to choose the one that I thought was the best solution for that moment. Just the act of doing it, of focusing on that and then actually doing what it said on the card. And that helped me a lot, and I used these cards on and off for, I would say, about 3 years.
And as part of those distractions as well, is it worth reaching out to people? Is it worth trying to take advantage of our informal support networks here as well?
Well, if you can do, that's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? And actually, maybe, you know, that having those cues for people of, look, I am in crisis now, this is how, but we know that often it's going to be hard to necessarily make that call at that point. So it might even be sort of having a cue, having a sign to somebody of, look, I need your help and I need your help now is really important.
Yeah, so I'll always make sure that I call someone or even text them to let them know that I'm actually feeling that type of way. And then they can give me the support that I need. And I also find it useful writing my feelings down in a diary that I've kept hidden away so no one can find it ever. I find that I've always done that since I was a teenager, and I still do it now, and it's so useful.
I used social media an awful lot to tell people what was happening in my life, and to get support from friends, even just their comments. But sometimes people followed it up as well, depending on what the situation was. And I did have a situation one time where I felt so low, I really was going to take my own life, and even though the friends didn't really know each other, what happened was that they had created their own system where one friend constantly messaged me on Messenger to keep me talking to her until another friend could get to the phone, and then she phoned me up and kept me talking on the phone until another friend could get to my door and come and help me. So even though they didn't know each other, they had made that plan and created it, it worked, and I was really grateful for.
A backup plan would be to reach out to someone. I have a few very understanding family and friends. I would just, if I'm not up to making a phone call, I will perhaps message one of them. We even have an arrangement with one friend that there's a keyword that I will message that will let them know that I'm struggling, so they can then get back in contact. So yeah, that is a backup plan.